This is the L2C Media Network, and this is the L2C Sports Final brought to you by the L2C Media Network. And now, with a look at the day in sports, here's our man, your friend, Steve, the Baxman Baxley. Thank you very much. Sharon Baxley, station owner, ladies and gentlemen, making her cameo vocal appearance on the broadcast. We are live, as we always are, Monday through Sunday. Glad to have you with us. And that's okay. They always expect you. Anyway, are you ready? I know I am. And, well, let's put it this way. We're ready for you. Ready for you, and we're ready to do this show. I'm going to turn on my fan, so if you hear something, it's my fan going here. So, right now it is 70 degrees in Jackson, very little wind here. Lansing also 72 degrees. And there's no winds. No winds. It's as if the winds just blew away. Oy vey. Yes. Okay, well, let's get to the main reason you're here, and we'll give you the forecast in a few moments. But right now, hey, let's give you a look at my hair. It continues to grow out of everything here. All right. Yeah. Let's get to the reason we're here, and that is bring you all the sports news. We're on for 45 minutes, even more. And if you'll give us a moment here, you're gonna love this. I love it. We have our own little big trouble here, and I'm going to grab me a little petunia here. There we go. Oh, okay. I'll take this one as well, and I'll take this one. Good. Okay. Wow. Din. All right. Let's get you ready. Let's get you steady. Let's get you ready to go. This is the L2C Sports Final as Harry talk to you. Hey, Matt, Ed, and Eddie, how you doing? Let's go do it, guys. Basketball is back. That's right, you heard me. The ball is back. I wish we could play the old original CBS NBA little theme, but once again, this is a work in progress, and maybe someday that will happen. But folks, the NBA Board of Governors approved the league's return to play proposal on Thursday by a vote of 29-1. Gee, I wonder who that one was. Assuming the players passed the plan during their vote on Friday, everything looks good, Mom. I wouldn't worry. You had to tell me? Doesn't look moldy, and why am I doing this discussion while on the air? No mold. Steve, did you get the link I sent you on Skype yesterday? And I'm doing good. Yes, I did. I'm going to check that out. And get to it after the broadcast be over here. Assuming the players pass the plan during their vote on Friday, basketball will return on July 31st at Disney World Orlando. 22 teams will be in attendance, and they'll play 8 regular season games before full playoffs. But, and there's always a but, and I got the huges. Anyway, but while we now have the details on key dates, including the league's desire to start the 2021 season on December 1st, there are still all sorts of logistics to sort out. Health and safety is obviously paramount during the pandemic, and the league still hasn't outlined their plan to deal with COVID-19. Now, one key issue in that area is what to do about older coaches and staffers. That's been a concern dating back months, as the coronavirus is much more of a risk for those 65 and older. You hear that? During an interview Thursday night, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said certain coaches, quote, may not be able to be on the bench, quote, in order to protect them. Interesting. In the group of 22 teams invited to Orlando, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, 71? Salud, he looks 50. Looks sort of late 40s, early 50s. 71? Popovich? Damn. Rockets head coach Mike D'Antoni was 68. Pelicans head coach Alvin Gentry, 65, are all 65 or older. Now, in addition, Portland Trailblazers head coach Terry Stotts is 62. Mavericks head coach Rick Carlisle is 60. WTF. While numerous assistant coaches are also in that age range. Carlisle, the president of the Coaches Association, spoke with Silver on Thursday and claimed that the commissioner walked his stance back a bit. Carlisle told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, quote, I just spoke to Adam Silver and he admitted that he jumped the gun with a statement to TNT. The health and safety of our coaches is first and foremost. It's entirely possible that an NBA coach in his 60s or 70s could be healthier than someone in their 30s or 40s. The conversation should never be solely about a person's age. Adam assured him that they would work together. They work through this together to help determine what is both safe and fair for all of our coaches. End quotation. Extra safety precautions may be necessary to keep these coaches safe, and having them stay away from the bench area appears to be one the league is looking at. Early indications, however, indicate that the coaches aren't interested in being protected to that extent. Both D'Antoni and Gentry told ESPN they don't believe they should even be forced to wear masks, and Gentry was adamant about his desire to coach. As he told Ramona Shelburne of the Four-Letter Network of Love, Four-Letter Network of Love, Four-Letter, quote, at the end of the day, they're in the league. They're going to make the choice. I think that it's unfair. That's what they're doing. I understand the risks that I'm taking if I do get it, but hell, I want to be with my team and do my job. That's what they hired me for. As comments from both Silver and the coaches show, there are plenty of moving parts here. It certainly seems like the league wanted to finalize the timeline and schedule before really diving into the specifics of how everything would work on and off the court in Orlando. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what about the broadcasters who'll be involved? Well, of course, Detroit's not going to be in it, so Blaha can work on his vacation, you know. But we'll get to the broadcasters in a moment. Some sadness to report. The 2019-2020 season will resume after all as team owners voted 29-1 on Thursday, approving a proposal to play out the remainder of the season at Disney World. Ha 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 ha! In Orlando, the league is targeting start date July 31st and will bring 22 teams to Orlando to crown a champion. The plan is for all teams to play 8 regular season games, as well as a potential play-in tournament for number 8 seed in each conference. Don't forget, Mom. Don't forget, 10 doesn't have sports, so you might want to turn back to 6. I've checked. There is no mold. The only thing that's moldy is my hair. I want it cut. I want it sheared. Including with the official statement from the NBA, that means that the season is over for 8 teams in the league, including the Atlanta Hawks, who were 11 games out of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference before the hiatus. Now, with the Hawks staying at home, that means that Vince Carter's 22-year career has officially come to a close. Carter announced his retirement before the season started and made a point to say he didn't want any send-off tours or closing ceremonies like Dwayne Wade or Dirk Nowitzki received at the end of last season. While he didn't want any of the pomp and circumstances, Carter's career ending abruptly due to a pandemic robbed everyone of properly honoring him in his final game. Instead, Carter's final game was a loss against the Knicks, where he played 12 minutes and put up 5 points, go along with a single rebound. His final bucket came off an assist from Trae Young for a 3-point shot, with teammates and fans cheering him on. Vince Carter's career, 21-year NBA career. He played 1,541 games, 16.7 points per game, 4.3 RPG, 3.1 APG, PER 18.6, and the win shares 125.3. Now, after the game, Carter reflected on what now officially is his final game. This is what he said, quote, "It's a weird way to say I'm calling it a career. You're used to not having any more games left. Instead, I technically have 15 games left. But if not, I'm one with it. It's just weird. As we were getting briefed on everything and what's going on, I was just sitting there like, all right, this is it, just like that," end quote. Now, during that press conference, Carter also mentioned how Kobe Bryant helped him come around to the idea of retiring before Lakers legend passed in a tragic helicopter crash in January. Carter said, quote, "I went from the hesitation of starting the season and going through it to not really saying the word retirement, to having a conversation with Kobe, which gave me the confidence and comfort to talk about retirement to this point where the season's over. And in my mind, I know there's 15 games left, but we're not sure yet. But it's cool, though. Basketball has been good to me. I've enjoyed each and every moment of it, good or bad. So if this is it, it's all good. At least I made my last basket." Now, over his career, he made 8 All-Star games, won Rookie of the Year in '99, and carried the Raptors to their first franchise playoff appearance. He's a beloved figure in the basketball world for his ferocious dunks throughout his career. Most notable among them was his 2000 Slam Dunk Contest performance, which is still considered to be the greatest in NBA history. And you got to admit it. That was great. You can look it up on YouTube. Now that Carter's career is officially in the books, the next stop is enshrinement in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. He's got the gravitas and the resume to back it, and as one of the most electrifying players of the past 2 decades. He never won a title or MVP, but his brilliance, scoring on offense, and his ability to change with the game and become a 3-point specialist later in his career afforded him the ability to play in the NBA for a record-breaking 22 seasons. Now, granted, this may not have been the best way to end Carter's career, but there are enough memories over 22 years worth to remind us of the exciting player he was and forever will be. Wow. That's right. Excuse me. Now, as we told you, here it is. Major League Baseball and the Players Association may not have yet reached an agreement. In fact, yes, Mom, after my live broadcast. Now, again, Major League Baseball and the Players Association have not reached an agreement on a modified 2020 season. And as you can see, again, they are very far apart. Ole. Anyway, already one assumption about the potential campaign is being challenged. The spread of the novel coronavirus seemed to rule out the possibility of fans attending the games. What a shock. I'm going to give me a little drinky poo here. Salud. Zero possibility of fans attending the game. Yeah, that may not be the case, at least in certain markets. Evan Grant of the Dallas Morning News reported Thursday that Major League Baseball is inclined to allow, quote, local and municipal governments to take precedent when it comes to allowing fan attendance at games. Grant's report was published hours after Texas Governor Greg Abbott said the state intends to permit sports stadiums and other businesses to operate at 50% capacity, up from 25% capacity. In other words, the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros could ostensibly have around 20,000 fans in the stands if and when the regular season gets underway. Not only could that give the Rangers and Astros an audible and visual home field advantage over teams whose local governments aren't yet enabling fans to be at the game, it would provide them with additional gate revenue that could limit their financial losses. Now, Abbott's decree is a potentially reckless one, given the state of Texas has recently seen an uptick in new COVID-19 cases and passages, as well as an increase in positive test rate. Wow. Suggesting those numbers are not merely a product of more expensive testing. Now, should Major League Baseball and the Players Association reach an agreement, the league would presumably install social distancing and hygiene practices for fans. Now, it's unclear if and how this development will impact the ongoing negotiations between the two sides. The financial component is believed to be one of, if not the biggest hurdle. We got to agree. That's right. Speaking of which, we got some Major League Soccer news. Kevin Durant has done something incredible. No, he hasn't decided to leave basketball and play soccer. Nope. Kevin Durant in December told Forbes magazine that he wants to own an NBA team one day. On Thursday, he took the first step toward that goal. While it isn't technically an NBA game, Durant purchased his first ever stake in a major professional sports team by buying a stake between 1% and 5% of the Philadelphia Union, an MLS team, according to Sports Business Journal's John Arond. The price for his purchase is not known. It is also unknown whether this was a personal investment on Durant's part or one made by 35 Ventures, his company that he founded alongside Rich Kleiman. Durant has previously attempted to purchase a stake. C United. See, everybody's got a stake. The MLS team in his home area, but the sides were unable to come to terms on an agreement on either occasion, according to the Athletic's Pablo Maurer. Soccer ownership has become relatively popular among NBA stars. James Harden owns approximately 3.5% of the Houston Dynamo. LeBron James went abroad in 2011 by purchasing 2% of Liverpool for an estimated $6.5 million. The value of that stake has grown significantly. While those stakes do not come with any degree of managerial control, they do grant players like Durant and James a chance to learn A bit more about operating a professional sports team, as both harbor NBA ownership aspirations in retirement that could prove quite useful. While there is an enormous difference between owning a minor stake in a team and being its controlling owners, smaller investments are a nice place to start. After all, the only NBA owner that played in the league, Michael Jordan, began his ownership tenure in a similar place, first as minority owner and top basketball executive with the Washington Wizards, and then with the then Charlotte Bobcats before buying the team outright. James and Durant aren't doing so in the NBA, but their paths are starting in a relatively similar place. Ooh, that's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. I wonder if they'd allow normal people to do that. It's a bizarro world, but hey, I'm all for it, aren't you? All for preventing illness as aggressively as we treat it. All for cleaning up, wiping off, scrubbing down, and repeating. All for getting back to the innovative care we're known for. Tasty. Safely and smartly. All right. All for heart attacks. In college football. Well, Oregon State has dismissed redshirt freshman freshman tight end Rocco Carley after an audio recording from 3 years ago emerged of a racist, hate-filled, and offensive rant in which Carley used derogatory language towards African Americans, homosexuals, and Muslims. Beavers coach Jonathan Smith announced Carley's dismissal Thursday in a statement. And here it was, quote, I became aware of the comments made by Rocco Carley earlier this evening. I immediately shared the audio with athletic director Scott Barnes. We both agree that this language and attitude is entirely unacceptable. Yeah. Regardless of circumstances or environment. I spoke with Rocco and dismissed him from the team. I will not tolerate racism or hate speech, Smith said. Athletic director Scott Barnes issued a statement as well, saying Coach Smith informed me of comments made by one of our football student athletes. We are both disgusted by the comments made and agreed wholeheartedly that dismissing the student athlete from the team is necessary and appropriate action. Racism of any kind is unacceptable on the Oregon State campus and within our athletic department. Now, Carley also released a statement this morning. Well, to my family, my community, and everyone I've associated with, I am sorry. This does not condone. Beep. This does not condone. No, it doesn't. This does not condone anything of what I have said, but I promise to you all that this video does not represent me. I was doing an accent of a southern man and giving a very satire example of what we all thought would be funny. This in no way, shape, or form makes for what I said right. This is no way, shape, or form what makes I said right. I am truthfully sorry to everyone I have hurt and offended. I understand that I have not represented me or my family in any positive way during this situation. To all my brothers, teammates, and everyone of color that I have associated with, I hope that you know me well enough to know I am in no way, shape, or form a racist. Again, I apologize, and I could not be more ashamed of my actions. End quote. And enough about that. By the way, speaking of apologies, Drew Brees made his apologies known. And, well, we got more. Let's get you to Drew Brees' apology following backlash. Drew Brees issued an apology one day after drawing passionate backlash over comments he made. The country and world as a whole is in a state of civil unrest, he made. Following death of George Floyd. Floyd, 46, died while in the custody of Minneapolis police, and 4 officers involved have been terminated by the department and charged by the Attorney General for their respective role in his death, which includes Derek Chauvin, the officer seen kneeling on Floyd's neck, spite of his cries of, "I can't breathe," who was charged Wednesday with an additional count of second-degree murder on top of a third-degree murder charge. He's scheduled to be in court next Monday while protests and riots sweep the country. Breeze was asked his stance on all, and he definitely answered. More specifically, the St. Breeze was asked his opinion on Colin Kaepernick's decision to kneel. And we've already shared you his response to that. But Drew Brees offered an apology. Now, it's going to be long, so, and I am tweeting the stream out on Twitter. Fear not. But I'll do it again either way. So here we go. Here is the apology from Drew Brees. I would like to apologize to my friends, teammates, the city of New Orleans, the black community, NFL community, and anyone I hurt with my comments yesterday. In speaking with some of you, it breaks my heart to know the pain I have caused. In an attempt to talk about respect, unity, and solidarity centered around the American flag and the national anthem, I made comments that were insensitive and completely missed the mark on the issues we are facing right now as a country. They lacked awareness and any type of compassion or empathy. Instead, those words have become divisive and hurtful, and I've misled people into believing that somehow I am an enemy. This cannot be further from the truth and is not an accurate reflection of my heart or my character. This is where I stand. I stand with the black community in the fight against systemic racial injustice and police brutality and support the creation of real policy change that will make a difference. I condemn the years of oppression that have taken place throughout our black communities and still exist today. I acknowledge that we as Americans, including myself, have not done enough to fight for that equality or to truly understand the struggles and plight of the black community. I recognize that I am part of the solution and can be a leader for the black community in this movement. I will never know what it's like to be a black man or raise black children in America, but I will work every day to put myself in those shoes and fight for what is right. I have always been an ally, never an enemy. I am sick about the way my comments were perceived yesterday, but I take full responsibility and accountability. I recognize that I should do less talking and more listening. And when the black community is talking about their pain, we all need to listen. For that, I am very sorry and ask for your forgiveness. Drew Brees. Mr. Brees, an old proverb. Takes a big man to admit he's wrong. You truly are a big man. In my eyes, I don't know about others, but speaking for myself, I accept your apology and your chance at redemption. Maybe we should all take that stance and give a listen to the cries for help and understanding. Anyway, we're going to take a slight pause for all of you, a black screen. But we do got to tell you that, well, no, we're not going to have a screen. We're just going to tell you that tonight, usually we would bring you a little bit of a smile with another live edition of Lost Blaney in the Interwebs with Nick Ricada in Minnesota. Unfortunately, there is not going to be a stream, but tomorrow, oh, if you missed last Friday, oh, was that a corker? This Friday should be something else. Drexel will be there with Nick Ricada, probably Nick's wife, Mrs. Rackets. And special guest, maybe an appearance by Tyronius Beardius, or otherwise known as lawyer extraordinaire Mr. Ty Beard. So instead of tuning in tonight, tune in to Lost Blaney in the Interwebs, a beautiful Friday edition. As always, every Friday edition is good. Midnight Eastern Time on the Ricada Law channel on YouTube. Yes. It's going to be something to see, going to be something to feel, hear, and digest. And once again, we are going to tweet, Facebook, and do what we can to let everybody know that the L2C Sports Final has a new home right here on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And we hope you all watch either live or on that wonderful thing we call archive. And if you excuse me, I haven't been able to answer Matt, so let me answer Matt, and we can get on with this show, because 45 minutes or 50 minutes is definitely time well spent on this broadcast, and we got a lot to talk about today. Oops, I forgot I had my caps lock on. Now I can't spell. Bam. Hey, it works. One day I'm going to find out how to really put it on Twitter and Facebook. Make things good. Anyway, we're glad you're here. Now, yesterday, and I want to apologize for yesterday, we had a little posimetronical burp. You know, one of those times when the thing said Mozilla Firefox not responding. So we did another show. We got rid of the original, and we did another show, and apparently that show is even better. So maybe this one will be more better. We got a lot to do and a lot to say. And the time is really rushing. By the way, congratulations to my buddy Jay the Brain Man. His show, Jay the Brain Man Presents Wrestle Anime Hut, just got added to iHeartRadio podcast. That's right, and we congratulate him. Do we not, people? Yes, we do. Adoo-wah, ditty, adoo-wah, hit the applause. There we go. Brother Brain. That's right, give him the love. There you go. All right, kiddies. Let's get to some of the things that made us who we are, which I have no idea what that is. No, yeah, I do. Okay, let's get our subjective here. Oops, there we go. Hey, we're on it. We really snapped to it. And we told you how the NBA is getting back to business while baseball is hanging on by a thread. Auto racing is getting some gangbuster feedback from its race's Suns fans. But as it deems for baseball, wait, what was his show on Art Radio? Seriously, that's awesome. Wrestle Anime Hut. Just look up Wrestle Anime Hut because he just he sent me on my Facebook Messenger a little blurb from I think it was one of the folks from Spreaker. Let me get that for you here while we're in the roll of rows here. Let me see if I can get that. Oh, bingo, bango, bongo. Okay. From Spreaker. Hi, Jay. Good news. The podcast Wrestle Anime Hut has been published on iHeartRadio. Please note. Oh, hey, please note. And of course, you can please note that it may take a few hours to have your podcast indexed correctly. Also, your podcast is already available on Spreaker's website and apps via this link, and you can submit to any other podcast listening platform from the distribution page. Thanks for using Spreaker, and welcome to iHeartRadio. Shazam! Now, you realize we gotta step it up a notch on Last Call Cafe. We gotta get more comedy, and I will be doing that. Gotta get some comedy, gotta get some good guests, and I can't fumble it. But wow, that is something. That is something. One of our maiden shows has made it to the big time. Now let's get us on that wonderful little platform, because I think that means we can get some advertisers. I like to get some advertisers on this broadcast. I got to find out how to do that and do it right. So maybe I have to be good and stop doing the comedy. Yeah. I'll just be myself. More than I can wish for. Anyway, folks, here we go. Just follow this show, and I hope that means his show will get some fans. It will, because we got wrestling and anime fans, and I'm hoping this will also mean well for our show, Last Call Cafe. Anyway, as you may know, now that we've done the cheesy plug, should baseball follow suit and say, okay, we're in. Let's bring some folks back. Multiple reports. Well, now, while there's a lot of uncertainty about if there will even be a Major League Baseball season, with players rejecting a league proposal and the league rejecting a Players Association proposal, a shorter season proposal from owners is still expected, but may not be approved by the players. Amidst all that usual gabonga. Thursday saw some reports that if there is a season, let's cross our fingers for that. Both TV and radio announcers may call road games from off-site studios. Remote broadcasting had previously seen some discussion around some teams, in particular with Yes executive John Filippelli telling NJ.com's Bob Klapisch last month that, quote, tentative plans are being made, end quote. For their Yankees TV booth, call even home games from off-site studios. But Bruce Levine of Chicago's 670 The Score and Tony Paul of Le News de Detroit, otherwise known as the Detroit News, both tweeted Thursday that it looks like all local announcers may wind up calling road games remotely as part of efforts to limit the risk of contacting or spreading the COVID-19 coronavirus. There's some dispute about the wording of Levine's tweet, in particular with NBC's Jessica Kleinschmidt, tweeting that, quote, not all MLB announcers, end quote, have been told this, and Paul's tweet only says this is extremely likely, rather than a sure thing, but this does seem like a reasonable possibility if we do get a 2020 Major League Baseball season, which is still quite uncertain at this point. Why don't we just do this? Just cancel the season altogether. Because let's face it, if they say we're not going to go ahead until September, that's a waste. It's a waste. Just cancel the season, come back next year. That will. I know a lot of people think that's going to ruin minor league baseball. Stand by. Any return to play in the time of COVID-19 is going to involve as few people as possible. If that return does take place in home stadiums rather than in central locations, contrary to what the NHL and NBA are proposing, it does seem likely that Major League Baseball will try to limit the amount of people traveling for each game. Now, remote broadcasts have expanded significantly in recent years in many sports, but they've been criticized for both sending a message that certain sports are less important and for missing the atmosphere of the stadiums. However, with these games likely to be played with no fans, there won't be much stadium atmosphere to speak of, and this move will likely be billed as being made from a safety perspective rather than a cost-cutting one. Although you can bet that teams in the regional sports networks are eager to cut costs as much as possible, as well given the financial challenge they're facing at the moment. Sinclair, AT&T, and of course NBC own regional sports networks. Sinclair, of course, along with a little bit from Byron Allen, they, of course, as we all know, and I've told you all very much, that they own the now former Fox Sports regional networks. Of course, it may still be a drop in broadcast quality from moving announcers to remote work, as they'll only be able to follow action via the cameras rather than their own eyes, but there's going to be a lot that's unusual about MLB play in 2020, if it happens at all. And remote announcers probably won't be near the top of that list of changes for many, especially if that move winds up being only for road games. It should be emphasized that this is far from official at the moment, and there currently isn't an MLB season to talk about, but Paul's report that this is extremely likely does have some merit. So if we do get a 2020 season, we might wind up seeing announcers call road games from studios or from their homes, like they do for the KBO games, the Korean Broadcast Organization games on ESPN. Stand by for that, kids. Are we all standing by? Okay, let's get to another reason to enjoy our little broadcast, and that is the ratings for this Wednesday. And interesting. Very interesting. Let's give you the resultage, shall we? All right, here we go. Week 34 of AEW Dynamite versus WWE NXT. Saw Dynamite top NXT in viewership and ratings once again. Wednesday's Dynamite episode drew, and this was the closest you can ever think of. Both shows, of course, were on tape. Wednesday's Dynamite episode drew 730,000 viewers, down 12% from last week, barely topping the 715,000 viewers, minus 2%, garnered by the Takeover in Your House Go Home edition of NXT on the USA Network by 2%, according to our friends at Showbuzz Daily. AEW ranked number 27 in Cable Top 150, while NXT ranked number 45. AEW ranked number 71 in viewership, while NXT ranked number 72 in their viewership. Last week's Dynamite Go Home episode drew 827,000 viewers and ranked number 4 in the big ratings of Cable's Top 150 and number 62 in viewership. Last week's NXT episode drew 731,000, ranked number 24 in the Cable 150, and number 66 in viewership. So there you go. There are the numbers pour vous. Okay, it is 52 minutes, and we are about 3 minutes away. So, we got just one more thing we got to do. We got to do some quick scores. And for that, I wish we can do it up there, but there is an impossible. Let's see. Well, hope I didn't try to eat that. Anyway, let us get to the scoreboard. Give you some scores from several little mini eventages. Okay, flash score. Let's go to it. Let's get you scores from last night. Let's go football. Okay, let's go football, baby. Let's go crazy. Armenia Premier League Championship game. Shirak Gurumi defeated Ararat Yerevan 2-0. Noah and his Ark defeated Alakashert 1-0. In Belarus, Vysshaya League Reserve, Smirovici 2 defeated FK Ordoega 3-1. Costa Rica Soccer Premier Division. It was San Carlos over Universitarios 2-1. Santos over Zeladon 3-1. Herediano over Cartagena 4-1. Saprissa and ADR Gicaro 2-2. Grecia over Limon 2-0. In Ligue de Ascenso Clausura playoffs, it was a slam dunk for Sporting San Jose over Guanacasteca, 5-love. In Czech Republic, Division 2. Bruno over Vitovice, 3-2. Dulka Prague over Vishrad, 2-0. In Estonia. Elva over Parnu, 4-2. Mardaru over Vandera Veprus, 3-1. Nam United over Levada, under 21, 4-1. Parnu JK Veprus over Flora under 21, 1-0. And Temecca under 21 over JK Jarv, 1-0. In Germany, the Bundesliga women, it was Duisburg and Köln tied at 1. Hungary, NB1 women's playoffs. Ferencváros over Hungara, 3-2. In the Israel Lumit League, it was Ashkelon 2, Sakin 1. Hapoel Afula and Betar Tel Aviv tied at 0. Hapoel Bnei Lod and Hapoel Petah Tikva 1-up. Naf Hagalil defeated Hapoel Ketamon 2-0. It was Maccabi Petah Tikva over Hapoel Akko 1-0. Hapoel Alfam and Hapoel Ironi Rishon tied at 2. MS Kfir Kwazan over Nazareth 4-2. And Hapoel Ramat Gan over Ramat Hasharon 2-0. In Polish soccer, Division 1, Tichy and Zaglibi Sosnowiec tied at 1. Randomek Random and Odura Opol, Zip Portugal Premier League action. Maritimo and Setebal tied at 1. Beneficia and Tondela tied at 0. And Guaberas and Sporting tied at 2. Some of the club friendly we're going to give you here, if we can. Thank you. Dynamo Bucharest defeated Rapid Bucharest 1-0. Jedinstvo Srkshin and Broderek tied at 2. Mold over Christiansen 4-2. Odd over Start 2-1. McKellen over MIPK 3-0. Valerenga over Mongelan 2-0. Rosenborg over St. Jordo's Blink 3-1. Neptunas, and by the way, if you ever seen a Neptunas, well, over Rosa 3-0. And that was basketball. Let's get you in with a little baseball, and then we'll go say hi to a few folks, and then we will disappear before your very eyeballs. Okay, last night, Japan NPB preseason action had the Chiba Lotte Marines going up against the Nippon Ham Fighters, and it was Chiba Lotte over the Nippon Ham Fighters 9-3. Rakuten Golden Eagles over the Yokohama Bay Stars 8-7. The Yakut Swallows and the Chunichi Dragons tied at 2. Hashin Tigers over the Hiroshima Carp 6-love. Oric Buffaloes over the Fukuoka Silverhawks. Actually, it ended up at a tie, 3 apiece. In South Korea, the Korean baseball organization, Kaewon Heroes over Hanwha Eagles 7-3. Kia Tigers over Lotte Giants 7-3. Doosan Bears, they manhandled, or should we say bear-handled, the KT Wiz Suwon 14-8. LG Twins over the Samsung Lions, way over, 11-0. NC Dinos over SK Wyverns 10-0. In the KBO Futures League, Lotte Giants the sequel lost to Sangmu 2-6. Doosan Bears the sequel over KT Wissawan the sequel 8-7. LG Twins the sequel over Kaiwum Heroes the sequel 16-7. And SK Wyverns the sequel over Samsung Lions the sequel 12-0. In Taiwan, the CPBL first stage action, Fubon Guardians over the Uni Lions 5-4. And in the minor league version of the CPBL in Taiwan, It was the China Trust Brothers, the sequel, otherwise known as Tude, beating the Uni Lions to handily, I might add, 11-5. And that is all for that. Let's give you some Heidi Hayes and Hody Hose and everybody else because we are running admit on time. Angela Peterson, Christina Peterson, Jay the Brain Man, Anne Marie Man, Yuki Tanaka, Matthew, oh boy, Matthew Nichols, Jerry Nichols, Nancy Nichols, Bobby Langford, Yvonne Pickerel, Anthony Pickerel, Ricky Pickerel, Michael Pickerel. We say howdy to Brenda Gaminsky, hi to Stuart Wilkerson, hi to my mother Sharon Bexley, hi to Marielle Liu, hi to Amy Hayes, Frida Hayes, Morris Hayes, Stacy Hayes, Alan Oberoff, how you doing? Truth Martini, how you doing? Brenda Gaminsky, Michael Gaminsky, Stephen Michael Gaminsky, howdy hi, howdy ho. Soraya Fidel, Crystal Hart, Rob Oberoff, Chris French, Chris Lewis, Kimberly Wells, Butch Cassidy Jr., Robert G.R. Monk, Monica Cram, Gary Cram, Samantha Phillips, Samantha O'Neill, and Casey Ann. How you doing? Harold Robbins, Marley Wiley, Blind Lemon, Jeff Rollo, Dale Sankey, George Templeton, Insapod, of course, Nellie K9, Mrs. Nellie K9, all my friends from Australia, Dwight Duhan, Myra Duhan Baxley, Manuela Marchigani, Mike Sparks, Sandra Douglas, Vanessa Douglas, Sabrina Kyle, Andrea Isom, Tyke Prado, Donna Payne, Ralph Gautier, Brandon Metzler, Rihanna Johnson, Chad Nappy, George Dow, Stephen Miller, Mikumba, Myra Baxley, Duhan, Jessica Hall, Roman Ronan, Patty Riley, Keith Goodwin, Brian Mann, Linda Miller, Betty Osterhaus, Bruce Osterhaus, Cindy Davis, Joseph Radcliffe, Rigo Flores, Eva Hewitt Duke, Michelle Townsend, Susan M. Harold Bickford, Paul Kowalski, Richard Kennedy, Bear Claw, Wesley Snell, Jeremy Coates, Arlene Boyd, Morgan Dunlop, Randy Sheets, Aaron Stiles, Paul Anthony Slowinski, Dale Sankey, as we said. All my friends, Brian like Brian McFeeters, Christopher Parnham, Alabama Cole, Delaney Reese, Annette Anuwitsk. Of course, we'll say hi to Claudia Treos, Dorothy Malone, Audrey Dahlgren, Alex Sims, and the incredible Mr. Nick Mantis, and all the gang over at WLNS TV6. We say to thee, Donnelly Keith, Tom Zitska, of course, Miss Melissa Wilson, how y'all doing? Dr. Jim over there at Channel 26, Fox KRIV. Marianne Manco, Ellen Harris, Ellen Cobb, Sharon N. Walsh, Roman Davis, Kika Bachman Tech, Kiki Melendez, Claudia Treos, Pamela Shoemaker, Amanda Burns, Joseph Yusuf Diaz, James J. Keaton, and her little bambiner. How you doing? Insapod, Charlie Brown, Kitschy Chrome. Let's see. Shelby Mark. How you doing? Megan Schneider, Brad Berkowitz, Tanya TKO, Domly Keith, her little lady, her little young one. How you doing? Tammy Mitchell Kubitz, Rod Street, Ryan Donahue, Shane and Sia Barbie, Brian McFeeters, I've already made mention, Justin Beach, Damon Bateman, and a list of a lot of good people. Kellyanne Collins, Beth McLeod, my favorite Cleveland weather lady and Detroit legend in her own self. That's right. Hi, Kiba. I bowed to this woman with Epicurean love. There you Everyone on YouTube, everyone on Twitter, everyone on Facebook, everyone on Instagram. Howdy, hi, howdy, ho. And folks, that's all she wrote for us. We have done the impossible. We have ran through an entire 45 plus minute show, and that is it for us. We will see you tomorrow night, right after Last Call Cafe on a Spreaker. Until then, I am Steve the Baxman Baxley, saying as always, may your favorite teams, no matter what sport you love, may your favorite teams always be winners. Good night, America, wherever and whomever you are. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports under the blessings of YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow night, folks, right after the fun, thrills, and merriment that is Last Call Cafe on Spreaker. Peace and salut. Good night. Boing.